So designing websites and apps. I mean, sounds pretty easy, right? Everybody can do it. Well, not really. Because when you first think about design, most people don't consider all the things that go into designing a beautiful product. Because when we talk about design, there's actually 4 key elements to designing, and specifically for web and mobile designers. The first part is graphic design. This is the idea of using colors, color theory, layout, typography, sketching, using fonts, imagery. It's the idea of telling a story to convey a specific feeling or to target a specific audience. Graphic design is all about the visuals, but just knowing graphic design isn't enough. The next part is this idea of user experience, or UX. Because to be a good web and mobile designer, you need to study user experience and user interface design. So what is that? It's the art and science of designing products that provide users with the best possible experience. How can you make a user move through your product in an enjoyable way, in an easy flow? It's all about understanding your customer. Again, don't worry, because we're going to dive deep into these topics throughout the course. The next part is conversion focused, or goal conversion. As a designer, you need to know how to design a product that drives the results that your clients want. For example, Bruno hired you because he wants to be successful with his product. So you need to design something that increases this conversions. Conversions meaning that a user takes a desired action. So your job is to motivate the visitors of your mobile app or web app to take that desired action. Maybe sign up for a mailing list or buy a product. And there's a science to goal conversion. And then finally, we've talked about this, but it's this idea of platform development, whether it's on a mobile or web. Although some designers limit their work and don't focus on web development or mobile app development, having at least a basic knowledge of how the platform you're designing for works, for example, HTML and CSS on the web, can be a really important skill and a really boosting skill to be a top designer, which is why we've included in this course. Now, these are the 4 main things that you need to learn and we're going to learn to be a top designer. Throughout all of these, and something that we keep mentioning is this idea that you'll also need to be good at client and project management. But we'll get to that later in the course. Now, throughout the course, we're going to use all modern tools that top designers are using right now. But we're also going to link to some resources that you can use to help along your journey. Now, we've already checked out the zerotomastery.io resources page where we have a bunch of resources that you can use. But here are some of my favorite ones that I recommend you check out. The first one is goodui.org. And this is great for that goal conversion that I was talking about. It actually tells you how you can improve your conversion on your designs by showing you A/B tests. So, for example, Amazon discovers that showing structured product detail is better. So it actually shows you which design or which layout is better. So they have a ton of these that they constantly post, so you can learn about good patterns, good UI practices that you can use for your website. The next one is awards.com. And this is great to get design inspirations. And you can even search for inspirations like different colors or different topics and get ideas for designs that you may want to use. Another one for inspiration is this one right here. And this again shows off other people's portfolio, but can also be used as your inspiration. Now, if you ever want to use icons in your products, well, I personally like using flat icon. But if you're looking for a free version, there's also things like the non-project that give you beautiful icons that you can use. If you want images for your product, something like Unsplash.com is also great to use. Now, this is just scratching the surface. There's a ton of resources that you can use. But the key is to remember, we have a lot of resources online as designers to develop our ideas. So don't get too intimidated. You don't always have to start from scratch. So, as a designer, you can expect three things or three types of work environments. One is a freelancer. You're your own boss. You have your own clients. It involves a little bit more management on your time, but again, you're your own boss. Another scenario might be you're working at an agency. An agency is a company that has a bunch of designers and developers, and they look for clients for you. And those clients talk through the agency so that you don't have to go looking for clients. And the agency just assigns you different projects, which is a great way for you to gain experience of working on different types of projects. And then finally, the last type of work you'll see is working what we call in-house, working for an actual company, working for a product, and you're the designer or a lead designer for a specific company. As you can see, the world of a designer is vast. There's lots to learn, but there's also lots of opportunities, which is why you're taking this course. So, enough jabber. It's time for us to get started. Moving forward, Daniel's going to show you the step-by-step process that we're going to take on this course, but also for all your future projects. Remember, the flow of the course is simple. We start with a client, and then we end with a portfolio for you to use on future projects, plus the system in place for you to use moving forward for all future projects. Right, let's get started.